here in Secaucus, New Jersey, my hometown. Today is the Black Lives Matter March, June 15th. And can I see your sign? Yeah, what's the other side say? Why are you participating in this?
I'm participating because this is an issue of great personal and political importance to me. My wife is a black person. Her life matters very much, as do the lives of all black people in this country, which have been disrespected for 400 years now. Enough is enough.
Thank you. Seems to be all kinds of people coming. Very diverse families, elderly, young.
Be the change, yes.
Equality is a human right. Be the change. BLM. Loving the signs. This is Patterson Plank Road in Secaucus, and they've closed it down by the China chef and family. Very diverse groups of people walking down, and why did you come out today?
Be on the right side of history.
All right, supporting her brother's girlfriend. That's what it takes. We have to support our loved ones. We've seen a lot of this in the last hour. Secaucus' finest, whizzing by. Lots of cops on the scene. I don't know what they think they're expecting. Yeah, the cops have been whizzing around since about 5:15. We've had Secaucus' finest on the job, trying to make sure everybody's safe. We have waste management trucks blocking off roads. We have young people continuing to pour in as the roads are being blockaded in anticipation of a march. We do not know the size yet of this gathering, but it looks like people are showing up. It's like an issue that matters to people, young and old. Yeah, Black Lives Matter. A lot of nice signs. Two young people there. Hey, why did you come today?
What?
Why did you come out today?
This is something, a systemic problem that needs to end.
It's a problem that needs to end. Right on. Your generation's going to lead the change.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I think it's happening.
Hopefully.
Yeah, a lot of young people here. These beautiful signs and tributes to all the high school students hanging up all around town. And I guess the march is about to proceed. Looks like we've got a convoy starting to start up with a police lead. Here in Secaucus, New Jersey, my hometown. Today is the Black Lives Matter March, June 15th. And can I see your sign? Yeah, what's the other side say? Why are you participating in this?
I'm participating because this is an issue of great personal and political importance to me. My wife is a black person. Her life matters very much, as do the lives of all black people in this country, which have been disrespected for 400 years now. Enough is enough.
Thank you. Seems to be all kinds of people coming. Very diverse families, elderly, young.
Be the change, yes.
Equality is a human right. Be the change. BLM. Loving the signs. This is Patterson Plank Road in Secaucus, and they've closed it down by the China chef and family. Very diverse groups of people walking down, and why did you come out today?
Be on the right side of history.
All right, supporting her brother's girlfriend. That's what it takes. We have to support our loved ones. We've seen a lot of this in the last hour. Secaucus' finest whizzing by. Lots of cops on the scene. I don't know what they think they're expecting. Huh?
You going to the march?
You going to the march?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, what are you calling? Go. I was trying to call you.
Yeah, the cops have been whizzing around since about 5:15. We've had Secaucus' finest on the job, trying to make sure everybody's safe. We have waste management trucks blocking off roads. We have young people continuing to pour in as the roads are being blockaded. In anticipation of a march, we do not know the size yet of this gathering, but it looks like people are showing up. It's like an issue that matters to people, young and old. Yeah, Black Lives Matter. A lot of nice signs. See young people there. Hey, why did you come today?
What?
Why did you come out today?
This is something, a systemic problem that needs to end.
It's a problem that needs to end. Right on. Your generation's going to lead the change.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I think it's happening.
Hopefully.
Yeah, a lot of young people here. These beautiful signs and tributes to all the high school students hanging up all around town. And I guess the march is about to proceed. Looks like we've got a convoy starting to start up with a police lead. We're here at the back end of the rally here, trying to be careful of social distancing. Something I have to be very, very careful of. And we're at the tail end. We're making this turn here towards the plaza.
Logically, this has to be done in the city. So,
I hear some people saying, what a shame we have to still march for equality in this country. No truer statement can be said. on this day in June 15th, 2020. We marched a lot of times. Couldn't be prouder of our city. Now there's a little bit of discord on this peaceful day. Oh Lord. Gotta always look out for the crazies.
All you want. But here's the problem. His way of thinking changes everything else. So
I see, I've never talked to him. I'm talking to him about politics, right? But I've never talked to him about Christianity. So,
it's weird though. I mean, you think
May have some speakers here. Few mil apart. Lots of police here for a very peaceful, small, quick march. I don't know, maybe this is the first time Secaucus has ever had an event like this. What were they expecting? I mean, this is in the tradition of Dr. Martin Luther King. This is like peaceful, nonviolent, constitutionally protected speech and gathering. This is all what democracy is all about. Let's say there's about 300 people here, 200 people. Some clergy. Lots of lay people, lots of students, lots of seniors. Lots of children and families. Beautiful signs. With messages resonating for equality, for justice, for peace. They love the silver-haired women. It's beautiful. We heard lots of chants of say their names, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd. We could go back to so many, Amadou Diallo, Ferguson, Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice. Just today, the young brother, the brother in Atlanta. There's just so many. And some say, why? Why are we concerned about so few? Particularly when there's so many other kinds of violence and crimes against black people, some at the hands of other blacks. I think that's a false argument. It's a denial of history. It's a denial of institutional oppression and racism. That's what this is all about, this moment in history. Matter! Matter! Black Lives Matter chants. This is an action call. This is the time to stand up for what's right in this country, where every person has a right to breathe, has a right to live, has a right to livelihood. It's human rights and civil rights. It's a time to figure out ways to restrain the militarization of the police department. Like, why do police departments have to look like they're on the streets of Fallujah with their tanks and their SWATs and their long weapons and machine guns? Yeah, there's some bad actors out there, but not every black person you encounter is a bad actor. There's a presumption, there's an implicit bias. We know this, we've seen the research. Black lives do matter, you know. That's what this moment in history is all about. This moment is a chance for real change. Seems to look like people are starting to leave now. A beautiful day. Very quick march for justice. Very peaceful, very beautiful display of America. I hope you enjoyed looking at this video. The Secaucus on a beautiful summer's evening, June 15th, marching through town, ending up at Buckmiller Park. What a diverse audience of participants. What beauty it was, the tapestry of all the people who participated in this march. I was sort of a participant observer, and but you know, I couldn't help but be moved by what I saw. The diversity of people, young and old, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, families, senior citizens, white men, white families, black families, Latino families, Asian families, Indian families. It was so moving. At times my voice was quivering because I was near tears, especially when I learned that the organizers of the event were actually middle school students. These are 6th, 7th, and 8th graders who convinced their parents, I suppose, to hold a peaceful protest in the spirit of Dr. Martin Luther King, as one of the young speakers said. How amazing is that? It moved me to tears that young people organized this event and their parents supported them and our community supported them.
I understand that the mayor of Secaucus was present at the march. I understand there was a councilwoman there as well. The police, I was a little surprised at the number of police that were on site. I mean, I don't know what they expected. Perhaps they thought it would be, looting and rioting and out of control, actors, but it was a beautiful representation of our city. I suppose something could have jumped off. I mean, the only foul language I heard the entire time was between two old white men who were on the side on Patterson Plank Road, who were having some obvious argument. And it was the only profanity I heard that entire time I was out walking around. Other than that, just peace and focus on the primary mission there. So, at the park, there were speeches by the children. There was one time that I believe I did capture where they were asking everyone who attended to take a knee. And they took a knee. And at one point they were actually, directing the demand to take a knee at the police officers. And of course they did not do it. Might have been nice had they done it. I don't know if the mayor did it. I don't know if the city councilwoman did it. I couldn't see in there, but everyone I could see, I was in the back. I was socially distancing. I have to be really careful. I'm a person living with cancer. And so I stayed way in the back, and I was impressed with everyone wearing masks. I mean, there was one guy who didn't have a mask on that came very, very close to my wife, Kay. And I asked him to move back, and he caught a little bit of an attitude. But, we have to fight for the 6 feet of space because we have to be safe. Engaging in our First Amendment rights doesn't mean we have to engage in risky behavior, because we are doing this in the context of a global pandemic still. So I was impressed that everyone wore masks that was in this protest, who was organizing it. Almost exclusively, 100% of the participants had masks on, and people were being mindful of spacing. And I know I was. So I was in the back, and when they made the call to take the knee, there was total silence that fell over the crowd. About 300 people, I thought. And I think the Secaucus patch said today in the news on the 16th of June that indeed was 300 people. And people took a knee in total silence for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. My God, was that moving. That blew me away. Young people are leading the charge. What a fantastic thing. It gives me so much hope. I think I did my first march in 1973 for gay rights in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I've been on many marches since. And even at this march with a bad sciatica, I'm saying I can't breathe. You can see the shirt here. And I'm holding signs that say, enough is enough. Black Lives Matter. I'm saying peace. Let's end all the militarization of our police force. Let's end the kind of abject implicit bias and overt racism that exists in every layer of the criminal justice system, not just on the ground in the community with the cops, because there's some bad cops out there. Not all cops are bad. Come on, I'm not saying that. No one with any intelligence is saying that. But we are saying there are systems in place that protect bad cops. There are policies in these police departments around excessive use of force. There are policies around the militarization. You don't need tanks in our inner cities. You don't need, these weapons of war in our inner cities. And beyond that, it's about the individual person in that moment, the white cop with the person of color, all too often black men who are confronting white cops who have this immediate escalation based on their bias, based on an assumption that a black person's up to no good. We have to end that implicit bias and end the racism. Divest from the militarization of police departments, support community policing, civilian police boards, end racial profiling, get rid of excessive use of force, chokeholds, and all of the other kinds of ways that police officers met out force with civilians. Cops need training. We can't protect bad cops. It isn't good enough to fire a bad cop in one town in one precinct, only to have them rehired across the border in another state or across a county line into another county. Bad cops should be gotten rid of, period. And we have to get rid of the culture of the blue silence and the knowing the history of cops. They started out with the paddy rollers on slave plantations. They started out with this, embedded in a racist culture, and we have to fight and challenge that. We have to support the good cops. There are plenty of good cops. There's a lot of good cops in bad systems, and it's the system we're targeting. And we have to encourage police officers to partner with the community. Community policing is a good thing. I mean, we pay for policing, and we need policing. There are bad guys and bad women and bad actors out there, and we need protection. Women who are the victims of domestic violence need protection. We need protection from crime, from murder, from assaults, from arson, from robberies. We need this. No one's going to argue with that. We're not saying get rid of police officers and that function that they fulfill in society. That would be ridiculous. But they do serve the people. Protect and serve us. It's a sacred bond and relationship. And we need to make sure they're doing it fairly, justly, without malice and bias in their hearts. So it was a real pleasure to participate in that event. Congratulations to the young people. Congratulations to the city of Secaucus for supporting the event. Peace. Black Lives Matter.